This show is part of the RetroZap.com podcast network.
Starship Sabers and Scoundrels, a Scoundrels Special Edition. Greetings, Scoundrels. It is I, Darth Taxus. You may be asking yourself why I'm not at Star Wars Celebration and why Dennis is. That used to be a good question, but I addressed it in our last special, and now it's just useless prattle. You may recall in episode 26, I prophesied a warning to Dennis and the Scoundrels that you should take heed. Dennis was thrown into the thick of battle. Now, he is transformed after surviving a horror beyond reckoning. Lines. So many lines. Let's listen in and discover how he survived his ordeal.
Hello, Scoundrels. This is Dennis, the Phantom Menace Keithley, and I'm back with another Starships, Sabers, and Scoundrels Celebration report. This was day one of Star Wars Celebration Orlando. However, the news announcements didn't wait until the official kickoff to start. At midnight, Disney, via Entertainment Weekly, announced a new 2D series that will debut on YouTube this July titled Forces of Destiny. These animated shorts will focus on the heroines of Star Wars. Although 8 shorts will debut in July, they will be packaged with 8 more shorts in the fall for a pair of TV specials on the Disney Channel. The shorts will feature Padme, Leia, Rey, Jyn Erso, Sabine, Hera, and Ahsoka. Each short is about 3 minutes long, and they were written by Jennifer Moreau, who has written Justice League Action. They are also to be directed by Brad Rao, who has helmed 3 episodes of Rebels. The original actresses will reprise their roles for all the characters, minus Carrie Fisher and Natalie Portman. So yes, Felicity Jones, Daisy Ridley, Tia Sakar, Vanessa Marshall, and Ashley Eckstein are all back. David Filoni also had a role in creating this franchise that is aimed at younger female fans. In addition to that, a line of action figures will be released that match the style of the animation, and they had previews of these figures on the exhibition floor here at Celebration. As for my day, I didn't camp overnight. Instead, I got a good night's sleep and headed over to the convention center to collect my wristbands at about 6 o'clock in the morning. I attended the 40th anniversary panel at the behind-the-scenes stage, and wow, was that not amazing. If you haven't seen it, head over to StarWars.com and check it out. There were plenty of surprises from the maker himself, George Lucas, to an appearance from Harrison Ford, and then a mini-concert from John Williams. Bart Davis had the line at the convention when he told Harrison that it was amazing that he could keep his appearance a secret after he landed his plane on the highway. I admit I got a little emotional a few times during the Carrie Fisher tribute, and Billy Lord was incredible and incredibly poised throughout the entire thing. Apologize for my voice a little bit. I wore it out a little bit trying to talk over the music at the RetroZap party last night. So after the 40th anniversary panel, I headed over to Galaxy Stage for a panel from Dave Filoni and Pablo Hidalgo, which was the animated Origins and Unexpected Fates. I suspect, although I haven't checked, that this was on the live stream as well. Of particular interest, there was a semi-animated duel between a young Boba Fett, which was voiced by Daniel Logan, and then Cad Bane was in there. This was part of a Clone Wars story arc that they didn't finish, but apparently Cad Bane was going to take Boba Fett under his wing and train him a little bit, and then it ends on a sour note. But it was a really nice shootout at the OK Corral. I highly recommend checking out the live stream for it. Of course, they talked about the origins of Ahsoka and Wrexham, and they noted that Ahsoka's name was originally Ashla. We had lots of early concept sketches when she was based off of Princess Mononoke. It was pretty cool. In addition, they opened the show by talking about Maul's fate from the past season Rebels, and that was explored in depth. Dave Filoni's sketchbook was the centerpiece of the discussion and provided the storyboards that he sketched out for exactly how that duel was going to go. It got changed a little bit, but it was very similar to what he originally wrote and had planned. After that, the rest of my day was largely spent supporting shows on the podcast stage. I had the opportunity to catch Radio 1138 first, and their show is pretty amazing. Jordan White, the editor of Marvel Star Wars Comics, was there, teasing that they're going to have some sort of announcement at the Marvel panel on Saturday, so I'm going to have to check that out. And then he talked a bit about some of the popular characters like Aphra, and they hadn't intended for her to get her own series at the beginning, but she proved to be such a big hit with fans that they went on with that. So make sure you catch that show. And then they also followed up with Jason Fry and John Jackson Miller, which was a lot of fun to hear two pretty accomplished Star Wars authors talking about their work and their contribution to the certain point of view and collaboration that's coming up soon. So after Radio 1138, I was in attendance for Coffee with Kenobi and their podcast day show. This was Corey and Dan's opportunity to get on the stage and shine. If you may remember, they were the first podcast show back in Anaheim ever. And this was also Corey's last show as a regular host of Coffee with Kenobi. So tune into that one whenever they post, I'm assuming next week. And it was fun to finally catch up with Dan and Corey in person. It was an honor to meet them. I didn't get a lot of exhibition floor time today. The panels and the podcast stage just pretty much filled up my day. Felt like I was pretty much either standing in the line for one of those panels or sitting in one of those panels all the time, but it was a lot of fun. What I did see the exhibition floor was pretty amazing. A bunch of R2 units, tons of cosplay going on. The 501st was around. They had a giant model AT-AT and a TIE fighter. Plenty of things to see and do. So hoping to get there more. Then last night, the RetroZap party was a great success. Joe Tavano and Chris Salton from Brews and Blasters, Michael Knipp and Dave Dollar from the Deuce Cast Movie Show, Mike McDonald and Dan Lazat from the Sandcrawler, Suara Saleh from Beltway Banthas. Those guys were all in attendance. We had a great opportunity to catch up with each other, some other podcasters such as Scott Rifen, and plenty of listeners. And again, that's why my voice is a little scratchy this morning. So for today, Friday, my plans are heavier on the exhibition floor than the panels. I'm not going to try and get into The Last Jedi panel. I think I'm going to watch that from the floor. I've got a few autographs that I'm going after, and excited to tell you all about those after I get them. So make sure you turn into the StarWars.com live stream, and let's hope we get that Last Jedi trailer. So that will do it for this Starship Sabers and Scoundrels at Celebration Port. Thank you for listening, everyone. I'll catch up with you tomorrow, and may the Force be with you.
Well, scoundrels, there you have it. It sounds like Dennis is still having a wonderful time, and we're still wallowing in our stay-at-home misery. However, he did bring up one of my favorite subjects, women in Star Wars. Also, I'm sure it was a treat that he got to attend the Coffee with Kenobi live event. Those guys are wonderful. They have such a magic that is extremely hard to duplicate. So I wish good luck to Corey as he leaves, and even more luck to those in the Coffee with Kenobi death match to find Corey's replacement. May Ashla have mercy on your souls. And may Bogan drink in your cries of anguish. Should be interesting. So, really, good luck. Be careful. Those things are sharp. Be sure to come back tomorrow, scoundrels, when we hear more exploits of Dennis's adventures through Celebration Orlando. I'm sure it's going to be an experience all of us will be highly envious of. But now it's time for the mind-numbingly, soul-crushingly boring stuff. A special thanks to Aaron Lee for our show logos, and to James Volpe, the Ska Geek, for our good, the bad, and the ugly logo. Also thanks to Galactic Empire for the blistering music we used during this segment. And a special thanks to Reed Pop, Lucasfilm, and Disney, not only for Star Wars Celebration, but also for allowing Starship Sabers and Scoundrels to cover it. Now, behold, our legal disclaimer. Starship Sabers and Scoundrels is not endorsed, affiliated with, or sponsored by Lucasfilm Limited and or Disney. This show is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. All characters, music, and sounds are the intellectual property of their respective copyright holders. All else is the intellectual property of Starship Sabers and Scoundrels, unless otherwise indicated. That will do it for this quick hit Star Wars Celebration special. We will find you and smother you with Day 3 coverage. May the Force be with you. You'll need it.